Everyone, you are watching Rob's MetalWorks, and we are continuing our support of the 10-year anniversary of Austin band Dead Earth Politics. Brings me great pleasure to welcome the guitarist, the man, Tim. Sir, how you doing? Welcome to the program.
I'm quite well, and you?
I'm doing good. I'm here with you. And I want to start by sharing a little bit about you with the people out there who are watching this interview, because it seems like, at least in some of the discussions that we've had earlier today, that, you know, it seems like your introduction in the band has kind of started a new incarnation of the band. So let's talk a little bit about you and who you are. Share with the people a little bit about your musical background and how you came to be part of Dead Earth Politics.
Sure. Well, I've been playing guitar for about 20 years now or so, since, yeah, 95, that would make it 20 years. You know, listen to the same stuff everybody listened to, your Metallica's, Pantera's, Megadeth and stuff, and I moved on from there to, you know, Dream Theater, Yngwie Malmsteen, maybe stuff that was a little more technical. Alexi, yeah, he's so pretty, right? And I went to Berklee College of Music, so now I have a real expensive, fancy piece of paper that says I know how to play guitar, you know, for what that's worth. And you know, I bounced around, played in a few bands in and around Boston, Massachusetts, and I moved here about 4 years ago. And I've been with Dead Earth Politics for, I guess, a little over 3 years now. You know, maybe the best 3 years of their lives. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speak for them, but you know what they say. You know, you shouldn't believe your own press or something. But yeah, I mean, I guess you know, I suppose I bring up maybe a bit more of studied approach to the instrument or to music, and that's okay. I mean, somebody's got to do that, I guess. But I don't know. They haven't asked me to leave yet, so I guess I must be doing okay, you know. But
so, had you heard about the band before, or did you go out on 6th Street and see the band? How did you come to know Dead Earth Politics?
Yeah, I guess you know, say what you will, but Craigslist, believe it or not, because that was the thing. When I moved here to Austin, like I didn't know a soul. Like, I didn't even know where to start. Yeah, they placed an ad that they were looking for a guitar player. I checked out their website and wasn't completely horrified by what I saw, and it seemed like you know, they were kind of on the same page, or they were wanting to do some of the things that I was looking to do, and I went out, met them, jammed with them a couple of times, and I mean, as simple as that. I mean, I guess there was, you know, there was no, you know, there's no like crazy gang initiation stories or anything. You know, I didn't have to sacrifice any goats to be admitted into the band or anything like that. But yeah, it was just as simple as that. Basically, our wonderful, you know, World Wide Web, you know, whatever. That's basically what brought us together.
Well, when you have people like, you know, Ben Scott, very articulate guy, very sharp guy, very witty guy, you know, to me, you know, when I stand back, someone who is not part of the fold, I can see why maybe you might have connected with him, and kind of he would convince you to say, hey, you know, Dead Earth Politics sounds like it's something right up your alley.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is definitely one of the things that attracts me to the band beyond the music is that we really are on a lot of the same wavelengths, personality-wise, you know, politically, what have you. It's not just a group of like dudes who are only like, you know, who think that, you know, life is just you know, beer, tits, and football. Which, believe me, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, nothing wrong with any of those things. But you know, still, there's you know, we're very much you know, one of my favorite things is, you know, just the conversations we have on the road, on the, you know, the endless you know, the endless you know, amounts of miles from here, there, and back, and to wherever, just about you know, anything and everything, and just we for the most part we get along as well personally as we do musically, which is it's a rare thing, you know. It's a rare thing, and you know, if someone's lucky enough to find that, hold on to it, you know.
Well, I think that, personally speaking, and I've been doing Robs for many, many years. My favorite types of musicians are musicians like Van and yourself. Guys who were sharp, and know what they're doing and articulate and technical. I mean, I really respect that because, what we do in heavy metal is an art form. And I love that you guys can bring your intellect into that arena. So let's talk about the history of Dead Earth Politics. You've been with the band going on 4 years now. I mean, you're not a rookie anymore. You've been part of this band. So what are your feelings on the history of Dead Earth Politics and really actually being a part of it now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's on the one hand, I suppose I don't want to say I'm glad that I didn't have to go through maybe some of the growing pains that young bands go through. I mean,
thanks, Ernie.
Yeah, yes, and we are and absolutely would give credit where it's warranted and that and I mean let's not kid ourselves. I mean we'll still have those shows occasionally where it's like, wow, did anyone hear about this? Like, what happened here? Like there's not too many, there's nobody out there. But I mean that's those are the kind of shows and circumstances where you really you find out what you're made of, and it's what separates the people who really love what they do versus those who are in it for other reasons. And yeah, I mean I'm just here to do what I do and to bring what I can to the table. And I mean, I guess most of that occurs in the musical realm of things because I guess that's my department, if you will, in terms of I'm not nearly as astute on the business end of things like Devin or Mason or some of the other cats. Aaron obviously he had his own band Shrapnel that he ran that show for years and years, and I'm not good at that stuff. Like I just, I shut up and play my guitar, I guess, and so far it's worked out. So
definitely, one of the milestones in the history of Dead Earth Politics is the full-length release that they released in 2010, which was The Way to Poseidon. Did you have a chance to hear that CD, and what did you think about it?
Yeah, I mean that was when I first contacted them, and obviously that was amongst the first 5 or 6 songs that I had to learn was a lot of stuff from there. And yeah, I mean it was cool. It's always a lot of fun. Like I mean, as fun as it is, as rewarding it is to write your own music and put yourself into it. I also had a lot of fun taking their older material and trying to kind of put my own spin on things while still remaining faithful to the original the artist's intent, if you will. Sure. But yeah, I mean I mean look, if Way to Poseidon sucked, I wouldn't have wanted to join them in the first place. So it's a good thing that was a good record, because otherwise you would have had to have done it without me.
So now I think the people and fans and people who are familiar with the band have kind of realized that since your introduction, we saw the 2004 release, Queen of Steel, come out, of which you were a huge part of, I would imagine, and also the 2015 release, Men Become Gods, as well, and kind of have recognized that Dead Earth Politics is at a new level now. And probably, a huge part of that is you.
Well, I mean, thank you first, and it's you don't want to get too deep into believing the hype, but yeah, if it's about me, I'll believe that. Everything, it's all true. Anything good that anyone has ever said about me.
Well, the guitar and the songwriting are such huge components of songs which you're hearing on the stereo. So that, I mean, really, that's that's why I say that.
Sure. Well, thanks. I mean, it's. I guess it's really where I come from. It's how I write music, and I guess the band has certainly taken. I wouldn't necessarily say a detour, but certainly a bit of a turn. It's the older material was a little more. On some levels is perhaps a little more abrasive, maybe a little more sludgy, that sort of thing. I guess now we're kind of in a territory that's maybe a little more European, for lack of a better term. There's a little bit more melody going on. We're we're not, instead of being in the sewer all the time, we're maybe a little bit, in the treetops, so to speak, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it's hard to it's not hard to talk about, but it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of what I do. You know what I mean? It's where I come from and the kind of music that I want to hear, and I try to do my best to, bring that out of me, and also in a way that, that everyone else is comfortable with, because it can't just, no one's going to pay to see me just wank for 6 minutes at a time while everyone else just kind of, sits around kind of, shrugging their shoulders, scratching their ass, whatever. I mean, that's not interesting to me either. I like band music. I like music where everybody's, doing something cool. It's not, where it's not just, where it doesn't just sound like Saturday afternoon at Guitar Center,
I'm really glad that you say that, because I imagine that you can shred, okay, expeditiously shred, okay. When I hear the last 2 EPs, there's so much flavor into the playing, not necessarily, shred, sure, you're showing off a little bit, but yet there's so much feeling into your solo work and into some of the melodies, which I think personally is so much more powerful and so much more attractive to music lovers than just pure shredding all the time. Is that where you're coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and as far as, obviously, metal's my primary musical language, but, you gotta give a tune, you gotta give something for the average listener who's maybe not as well versed in all the specifics of what goes into guitar playing and, the different scales and all the theory and junk behind it. I mean, as much as I love metal bands, I love, U2 and Muse and the Beatles, right, and bands that were that weren't about that. It was just about just like simpler things that that are easier for the ear to catch on. And I mean, I wouldn't say that I create anything that's maybe on their level, but still, it's like that's where it comes from. I like hooks are important. Hooks are not a dirty word.
So Tim, definitely one of the most obvious contributions thus far that you've made with the band are the 2 EPs that were released in 2014 and 2015, Queen of Steel and Men Become Gods. Let's talk a little bit about those 2 EPs for a second, because obviously, you were a big part of those. And when you came into Dead Earth Politics, I mean, obviously you felt, hey, I have a lot to contribute writing-wise as too. Did you feel like, hey, will my voice be heard in this band?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Pretty much more or less right away. One of the songs that's on Queen of Steel, the first EP we came out with, Redneck Dragon Slayer, we wrote that within the first maybe handful of rehearsals that I had with the band, and that was musically, at least guitar-wise, that was more or less all me, and Devin wrote the lyrics, and we just kind of go. That's generally how we've worked it. Is where since I've been in the band, that's how most of the songs get written. Is like I come in with, okay, here's 3 riffs, and then Mason will say, well, let's play this one 3 times. Everybody, it's like they can't just let it be. With how I bring it in, it's like it almost on principle they have to say, oh, let's screw with this or screw with that, and then then 2 weeks later Devin's like, all right, I got lyrics, this is what the song is called, and then we beat it into submission. So yeah, I mean, they made it clear to me even around the time, like before I joined / after I first met them, that they would expect me to contribute my own spices to the meal, as it were. So I mean, and I was more than okay with that. So.
Well, I know how important. I mean, especially if you are an articulate musician, how important it is to have your voice heard, musically, and it fulfills you as a musician, I would say. So now, as we are about to enter the fall season, and Dead Earth Politics will be celebrating its 10-year anniversary. People out there, don't forget, at the Dirty Dog in October. How how do you feel about being part of this 10-year anniversary now that you're actually giving a good little chunk of your life to the band and its work, and I mean you're a real part of it. What does this 10-year anniversary mean to you?
Yeah, I'm finally a real boy. I'm pleased to be a part of it, whatever you want to say it is. 10 years is a very long time, I guess, and I feel, I guess at this point it's like, I suppose when I think of it that way, it's like maybe I'm a little late to the party, so to speak, but it's a pretty badass party nonetheless, you know, especially since I joined up, right? But yeah, I mean, it shows, I mean, you think of anything, it's like a lot of marriages don't last 10 years, you know, and you think about it like you know, the old cliche about a band sort of being multiple marriages, and just, you know, it's really a testament to what music means to, like, mankind, in a sense, you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like music is such a powerful force that people are willing to overcome all these obstacles, be it, you know, personally, professionally, whatever, to be able to create this thing that we've had for however long we've had it, and hopefully we'll continue to have it as long as, you know, as long as we're able to. But yeah, I don't know, I kind of ran out of steam there, but
it's all good.
You got my point.
It's all good. I have good editing software.
Yeah,
I'll make you look great.
Important.
So the new music, the new EP, the third component of this series of EPs will come out next year. What can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're currently, you know, we're hard at work writing songs for that. It's tough for me at this point to sort of to make any like broad strokes about what direction it's heading in, because I mean, if you know, Men Become Gods was like, you know, if you take, you know, sort of those time-lapse videos of like a seed growing into a flower, it's like, you know, Queen of Steel to Men Become Gods to whatever the third EP is. It's kind of like that. I mean, it's like, I mean, I can expect it's just going to be a little bit more in every direction. I mean, it's from what we've been taking with the last few records. I mean, we've got some songs that are a little more shorter and concise, and, you know, good sort of, you know, we hope festival chant-alongs, things like that, and then we have some more things that maybe take maybe a few unexpected turns into directions that maybe people wouldn't expect us to. But I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of really good guitar work on it, if I have anything to say about it. And yeah.
What if you know? I think also, you know, the addition of Aaron Kennedy into the band, and kind of he's like your counterpart now on the guitar, and you know, his history with the band and in his own band. How has that kind of dynamic been working out?
Oh, his integration has been seamless. Aaron is his playing and my playing just fit together so well, and there's very little there's more or less no competition. It's not, you know, like sometimes you get when you get two guitar players in a band, it sort of turns into this you know, this sword fight ego fest, and there's none of that with us. And I mean, part of it's like, you know, he's content to just to be the backbone and let me be silly and kind of wank and warble over the top of it. I mean, I guess you know, if we want to use like a military analogy, you know, he's the ground infantry, and I'm you know, I'm the Air Force, kind of over the top. But no, I love playing with Aaron, because it's like, no matter what, it's like even some of the songs I bring in, it's like I know once I show it to him, give him 2 weeks, and he'll have it down note for note, and he's very he's a studied musician in a similar way that I am. It's like you know, he's just very he's meticulous in a similar way that I am, and it's great. Like I love working with him.
So now the 10-year anniversary will come and go. Okay, time never stops for any of us.
That's true.
So what do you foresee? What would you like to see for the future of Dead Earth Politics?
Sure. Well, I mean, in the most general sense, I mean, we'll take things as far as we can take them and play music for as many people who are willing to, you know, put up with us for 45 minutes or an hour at a pop. I mean, you know, we're able to go out on these runs here and there and play some cool festivals and stuff like that. I mean, we'd still love to, you know, maybe get to Europe at some point, or Japan, or just, you know, whatever corners of the globe that will be receptive to our particular brand of audio terrorism. But that, and it's just like, I mean, as long as we're happy, I mean, it's make great art. That's the point. And if you do that, if we can make music that we're happy with, everything else that happens beyond that is just, that's gravy, you know? Exactly. We're not going to complain much beyond that. So,
Tim, thanks for sharing some time with us and being open about all your feelings with regards to Dead Earth Politics and the band and the anniversary. Any last words for the people out there who will see this interview?
Last words. Oh, gee. Does that mean I'm going to die soon? Is there an executioner hiding behind this kit? Just thanks for your support up until this point, and please continue to be into what we're into, even if you're just faking it. We can't tell the difference.
Just come out and headbang. Remember, everyone out there, the 10-year anniversary for Dead Earth Politics is coming up in October. Be sure to look online, get the date for the big show. It's going to be at the Dirty Dog. We will be out there in support of this marvelous band out of Austin that has continued to do it for all the right reasons. You saw Tim of Dead Earth Politics only on Rob's MetalWorks.